We're gonna show you footage of a cop using what is called a pit maneuver to attempt to stop the car of a pregnant woman that didn't pull over fast enough to satisfy the cop's need to be obeyed. It gets worse fast.
Nicole Harper was driving home on the I-67 and is alleged to have been clocked for speeding by Senior Corporal Rodney Dunn, who claims that she fled. But in the video, we see an obvious decrease in speed as Harper pulls into the right lane and activates her turn signal. She claims it was to indicate she was going to exit the interstate, as the area had a reduced shoulder, regardless of Harper's actions and indications that she would stop. Corporal Dunn initiates a pit maneuver.
Okay, Dan. So I'm gonna let you go first. What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I think one of the more chilling parts was at the end where his response to the situation is, groan, someone call EMS, the emergency services, because it looks like someone's injured here, whatever. As though I'm from Los Angeles. I've seen my fair share of high-speed chases. These usually happen when the cars are refusing to slow down. That's when you do pit maneuvers. I've seen a bunch of them happen. A lot of them do end in rollovers or whatever. Many of them don't, but that's happening when you have a high-speed chase that has been on TV for 45 minutes, where the driver has done dangerous things, and it's we need to stop this driver even being on the road because they're causing a problem. Here, I don't know what the driver could possibly be doing better. As you see here, she's trying to indicate that she's exiting soon, because that's often what you do. That shoulder there does not look like you can actually stay there and pull someone over. Yeah, if the cars were stopped there, then you'd be on a highway and cars would have to swoop around you as you're stopped. That's not safe to pull up at night. That's ridiculous. And SUVs specifically, well, I won't say specifically, but just SUVs in general are the most rollover prone. Just in I don't know what. I'll say this and I'll say what I actually think. One, I don't know what possibly possessed that officer to see that maneuver was necessary at that time. It was an obscene, absolutely obscene abuse of force. But my response to that is, this is the same obscene abuse of force, a similar obscene abuse of force we've seen in police forces around the country, which is why calls to not just, put some light reforms here and put some cameras there. No, fundamentally overhaul the way we do justice and, protecting the community in this country, because that's not protection. The stuff we've been talking about of police violence for the past year in minimum, but honestly, entire time of American society maximum, that stuff is not just a reform you can put away. This is an issue with the entire system.
Yeah, how do you, again, what course are we gonna fund and mandate to make that guy not respond to something that's crazier, more dangerous, more reckless than literally anything I've done in my entire life with, it flipped over now, somebody call EMS. I've spilled a bit of coffee while entering the studio and been more freaked out about it than that guy was when he just flipped an SUV. At that point, he has no idea if he has splattered the inside of that SUV with the brains of one or more people. He has no idea. There's a pregnant woman in the car. Now, thankfully, she was okay, as much as you can be when a cop has needlessly flipped your car, because as we've pointed out millions of times over literally years, there's a lot of things that you can do to anger a cop, but there's nothing you can do like not submitting to his authority immediately and fully. You inconvenience a cop, and that is among the most dangerous things you can do in America. By the way, there's a lot of arguments, potentially for not buying SUVs, fuel mileage and all that. Maybe don't buy an SUV because there's cops out there. Wear your seatbelt because there's cops. Don't buy an SUV because there's cops and they might flip over your car at some point. Anyway, I want to give you details about the individual woman though. This is Nicole Harper. She has sued the Arkansas State Police and accused them of negligently performing the pit maneuver, which seems like a pretty open and shut case right there. She was going 84 in a 70 when he flashed his lights to pull her over. If we could take a live shot of the 405 right now, literally every single car is doing that. Most of them won't flip over. It's LA, so maybe some of them will flip over, but most of them won't end up flipping over. But he decided to elevate this to that. When he finally caught up to her, it's not on the video that we have right there. The body mic caught his conversation. He asked her, "Why didn't you stop?" And she said, "Because I didn't feel it was safe." And he said, "Well, this is where you ended up." No, take him out. He can never be a cop again. And you know what? A couple generations later, still, his kids, grandkids, don't let them be cops just to be safe. If the like stone dead icy tone of him realizing he flipped an SUV doesn't convince you, him berating the woman who he nearly killed should be enough. You don't need a judge, you don't need a jury, you don't need any sort of investigation. He can never be a cop again and give the woman whatever money she asks for.
Oh, but no, John, Blue Lives Matter. Let's keep sociopaths on the force because that's what I want protecting and serving our community. That just makes the most sense. I hate the thought that people would even go to defend, there's something that she was doing wrong. She was driving so unsafely, as though these same LARPers who love police officers so much have never sped in their Jeeps before. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. We've watched a lot of really rough police videos in just the last 2 months or so, but not having any reaction. I don't understand how you can do that. How could you, if you accidentally hit the back of someone's car and that was it, you'd freak out, right? What has this guy done in the past that made him a person who could not freak out in that case?
The logical answer is that being on the police force, you see a lot of gnarly things that numbs you a little bit. But I think you should still be able to find your empathy for other people, regardless of what job you're doing or how long you've done that job. And that's just so fundamentally devoid that he's going into abusive relationship tactics, look what you made me look what you made me do kind of stuff. That's absolutely, he's a garbage human being.
Yeah, he
threw
a woman down the stairs, went to the bottom of the stairs and said, "Where did that end? Where did you end up with that, huh?" That's what happened. Insane.